Sideline of goal. Lakewood's doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down 30. Almost with a double kill. Dropping fast. Monopoint's there. He's still alive. Wait, 2 seconds left. He's got one side. He's got a second. He's taking it up. They're overtime on 3. They're all dead.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another game coming for you here. Summit 2 America by Cheat2A.com. We got Infinity +4 versus Union.
I don't know how it's going to beat the last one.
Yeah, the last one was pretty good. Pretty fun game. Now, Union, they are, I don't think they're technically dead last anymore. Stay Free has taken the bill.
Yeah, because they dropped out.
Because they dropped out.
Union, we gave them death losses.
Union, they had no wins, and then yesterday was kind of funny. They were the team that they started the day 0-5, and then right before their matches, it became, hey, we're 1-4. That's great.
Yeah.
Stay Free has been DQ. You get a free win. So that was nice. Unfortunately, it didn't translate to a win for them yesterday. We'll see what they can do here against Infinity +4, but I think they're pretty much at the at that point of no return. So Infinity +4, they're middle of the pack. I'll have to look up what their score is real quickly here, but they're not out of it yet, so they still have a chance. But let's hop into this draft, Brian. I think suffice it to say, Infinity +4 are the favorites coming in.
Man, Skywrath Ogre is becoming the new Rasta AA from like earlier this year when it was like a lot of teams would just. You remember like. Oh God, I think it was China mainly. It was like if you had those 2 slots, you almost always if you had second pick, you always went Rasta AA, almost always for a couple of teams, most of the top tier teams. And it seems like a lot of teams are picking up this combo together a lot, just because of how much burst damage it is. It's so much. We saw how Mike just got pounded a couple of times by multicast into Mystic Flare, and he was just dead.
He was pounded. That is the proper official terminology.
Just the smackdown of magic.
So this is actually we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Infinity Stack's a little worse off than I thought. They're 3-5. Union Gaming are 1-5. So this is do or die. 6 losses is that actual breaking point of you mathematically have no chance of making it into the top 4 based on how things have turned out. So whoever loses this one will absolutely have no chance, and whoever wins will have that opportunity to win out the rest of their games and maybe make that comeback. Move into the top 4. Right now it's only Complexity and Not Today who are secured in the top 2. So 2 spots still remaining for the playoffs. This group stage is really heating up here, Brian. It's getting hot.
It's intense. You know, and gosh, what's your feeling on Necrophos? Do you like the Euro? Do you think it's kind of non-Dota-y to have something as like meta game? Like it's kind of like it's kind of breaking.
I think he's very Dota.
It's kind of breaking it's the 5th wall, right? I always want to say the 4th wall.
It's the 4th wall.
The 4th wall.
Okay. I called it the 4th dimension the other day.
I sometimes say the 5th wall on accident, but it kind of breaks the 4th wall, and that it increases your respawn timer. It's kind of weird. Like no other ability kind of like messes with game mechanics in the same way that I can think of. Because everything else kind of makes sense. Like I'm going to hurt you with this magic. It's like no, Necrophos is like no, I'm going to make you respawn longer. That's not really something that happens in the realm of Dota.
It's a fantasy thing. You know, he's channeling the Grim Reaper, so he's like doing his bidding behind the scenes.
Stay dead longer, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's got the Grim Reaper.
The buyback thing does totally break the 4th wall. There's no thing in fantasy where if you pay enough money, you come back from the dead. Yeah. That'd be some serious like 1%er shit.
You might be taking your Dota too seriously.
I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write a novel about a fantasy world where if you get up enough money, you can buy yourself back from the dead.
Now talk about a fun job. Just writing Dota lore. You know, writing Dota book.
Yeah, I'll just write some fan. That's what I do. I write Dota fan fiction on my spare time, dude.
I'm about to make that my new hobby. Get some Necrophos fan fiction.
If it fits, it ships.
Dude, you could do like. Oh God, I just had a terrible idea. You could do a Coddle, like 50 Shades of Coddle kind of, because he's so creepy, you know, all of his lines are like, you know, Coddle's interaction with the succubus.
Kundalini.
That would be good. He's just given the double entendres in my head.
Okay, we just have to stop.
So okay, Necrophos. I like
the heal team, Infinity plus heal.
Yeah, I think Necro is very strong. I think he's really good against certain heroes, like great against Spectre, great against Ember. Anybody who can buy back and have some mechanic to get right back into the fight. Weaver's time lapse puck is an example with his jaunt. That one's a lot more rare. You don't see the puck jaunt buyback.
You know what's disgusting? It's like Reaper scything a level 4 support like 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, dude.
Because they're down for like...
You're down for almost a minute.
Yeah, much longer. Way longer than normally. Like, your respawn timer... I'm trying to remember the formula. It's your level time, like it's a flat amount plus your level times 4. I'm pretty sure, or something like that. And so
10 seconds
it's
remaining.
like 3 times longer than normal.
Mm-hmm. It's
5
really
seconds
ridiculous,
remaining.
especially early on. So I like him. I don't think
Reserve time.
he fits into strats where you need to really take a crippling lead kind of early on. He's good in the late game in terms of he can shut down one other really hard carry, but if you take
it's just your level times 4.
Okay, level times 4. So, but if you just take like, your Ember Spirit Sniper like we saw last game, Necro's not going to out carry that shit. So he does put you on a little bit of a clock, and I feel like he looks stronger than he is almost, because like at Starlighter, for example, all the games where we saw Necro just stomping, those were drafts built around the Necro, like going aggro tri-lane with the Wisp, and just looking to shut them down, get a fast lead, and just snowball. So I think it's easy for him to look like broken, like, oh my god, how do you deal with this hero if you win that early? But if you can survive it, shut him down a little bit, things get a little more tricky. And I wonder if Infinity plus 4 will tri-lane here. I mean, aggro try, rather. I think they'll tri-lane, but will it be an aggro?
It depends on what Union Gaming picks as their core. An aggressive tri-lane isn't something you just kind of decide immediately you're just going to do unless you really know what the other team's going to run and you're preparing for what the other team's going to run. I think in group stages like this, the teams don't really scout out each other as much as they just try to play their own game. So I think it'll depend on what core. Like if they pick a core they think they can shut down with this tri-lane. But once again, it's not the strongest tri-lane. Like Io, Necro, Dazzle, it's okay.
The double heal onto the Necro for both the Death Pulse and the Shadow Wave is what makes it unreal. Like you look at it and think that's kind of a derpy tri-lane, but the sustainability that they have is just unreal.
Io just doesn't translate. Okay, now there's an anti-mage. Picking an anti-mage into a Necrophos is so brazen. I love it. It's just like, nah, we don't need it.
That is very brave.
Yeah, I like it. Union Gaming's all about, like, both of their carry. Look back when Benjaz plays the one for them now, right?
Remaining.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yes.
They're all about their really
around.
farmy carries. Like when Iowa was still playing with Union Gaming instead of Not Today for the NA qualifiers for the international, when they almost qualified, they were there in the end. They were either in the top 4 or top 2. They were really close in America. I remember they did very well.
10 seconds remaining.
It was just Iowa hitting creeps, man. And so they're kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, Evo's pretty good at that. So, wow, this anti-mage pick is definitely brave. I think Union, they're a little all over the place. They've got like, a ton of magic damage. This is a good pipe game, honestly. Go for the pipe.
Remaining.
That's been the running joke that nobody's been picking up pipe recently, but it's a good item. Will do a lot against Union. So Infinity, they need a good mid hero here, and I feel like they need like a good, like a DK Shadow Blade or something. Somebody maybe with some pushing power could be nice. Another stun would be wonderful, but they need a tempo controller. I think a good Invoker could work out quite well. But somebody that can control some tempos here, I think, is what they
10
need for
seconds
this
remaining.
Somebody with some form of control.
They banned out the
5
Templar
seconds
Assassin.
remaining.
Dragon Knight.
There's
Okay.
the Dragon Knight.
That
All
works.
right, I like this here. Works well with the Dazzle, the stun,
Team
has everything that I just listed off.
If you're talking about tanky deathballiness, then that's exactly
And I
what
think
that's
Shadow Blade this game would be a good way to go. Just so he can move around, be a little more mobile. BKB first is also, like,
it's been
Drum
so
BKB
long since
is
I've
also
seen
really
a Dragon
good
Knight in a game. I don't even know if people still build Shadow Blade on him anymore. I'm sure they do. You kind of have to, but without as much. Oh, I think Shadow Blade would work because you can relocate in and make sure, like, you can Shadow Blade into the jungle, find the anti-mage, stun him up with a Dragon Tail, and relocate in with a Necrophos and delete him from the game for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it this way. He comes in, like, let's say they go aggro try with the 3 healers. He comes in, hits somebody with the Dragon Tail. You got 2.5 seconds for that Dazzle. Hit him with a heal bomb, maybe some balls come out, a Death Pulse, and then at that point...
What if they do the fighting anti-mage build with the Invoker going cross wave?
Oh my god. Brian, you might be a genius.
No, dude, Slasher,
That could happen.
Slasher backed me up, dude. Did you see the Slasher video?
I did not,
He
actually.
showed a fighting anti-mage build. He doesn't get Battle Fury.
I mean, I think the fighting anti-mage, even though I give you some shit for it, is actually not that bad.
No, it's not that
weird,
bad.
but
The issue
it's
is just
actually not that
the
awful.
issue with the hero is just why would you pick anti-mage if you're not going to build Battle Fury on him? Like, that's kind of the hero's, like, he split pushes well, he farms the jungle really fast. Like, that's what he's good at.
Yeah.
And so not picking Battle Fury on the hero kind of means...
I think LD summed it up to me the best one time when he said, anti-mage isn't the best because he's, like, your mega 6-slotted hard carry.
Right.
It's the speed that he can get to that 6 slot. That's
He's
what makes
like,
him so scary.
He's kind of like a slightly later. He's a slightly better than late Alchemist. Remember when we used to see? It was like Alienware Cup era of like early 2013 when it was Anti-Mage versus Alchemist almost every single game, with Alchemist maxing Greevil's Greed, getting Battle Fury on Alchemist, like that kind of disgusting stuff.
Oh my God! Battle Fury first, Max Greevil's Greed, Alchemist.
That's what you used to see, and it was just a race.
It's just such a. It feels so ridiculous now because our meta is the complete opposite of that. But
like Alchemist would always get to 6 slots faster, but Anti-Mage would peak a little bit later than him and stronger, peak harder. And it was just about those windows basically in those games. And so that's kind of what Anti-Mage does, and if you don't pick Battle Fury on him, it's just he doesn't really bring a whole lot to the table besides a really strong, like, Mana Void's really good now. And this is not that great of a Mana Void game, I guess. I mean, if Necro doesn't have a great mana pool early and has a, like, or has high mana cost abilities with a high pool early, he's a decent target.
Have that good in-game, so towards the late game, he might be an alright
He's a decent Mana Void target. I think Necro's really going to be the main Mana Void target, but it's just there's just no reason not to pick Anti-Mage if you don't plan on going Battle Fury on him is the issue.
Yeah. Still, it also requires the Invoker to go Wex for that fighting build to really be insane. And he hasn't skilled anything up yet, so Citadel could be going Wex. I feel like it's mostly Chinese teams that are going for the Wex here. He will put that point in Exort, and if any Invoker I see in America or Europe, I would expect it to be Exort unless there's like against a Dusa or some very obvious Exort.
Weird.
But here we go down bottom. It will be an aggro try from Infinity +4, and I'm having flashbacks to EG at Starladder when we first saw the Necrophos Wisp game, and I remember thinking, what's going on with this craziness? And then I saw the first fight that they took, and it's like, okay, now I see what's going on with this. Wow. LD style.
And it is, look at you. You're so right about these things. This aggressive tri-lane.
Dude, I'm getting better. I'm telling you, I'm starting to see some patterns here. My pattern lens is coming out hot.
I think it's smart because what I was talking about is like I'm gonna make myself feel better about being wrong here. And I said it was against it depended on the core, and if it was a core they really wanted to shut down, they might run aggressive. And Anti-Mage is a pretty good one. The issue is that Skywrath Ogre Anti-Mage is a pretty good tri-lane to deal with an aggressive.
Yeah, it's not bad. The one thing that is good about it is it will lock them in this lane. For Dragon Knight, he's winning mid pretty hard. He's 7-1 versus Citadel, who's 1-1.
I think that is the main issue, is just pinning the support so they can't roam mid.
Yeah, and this is Infinity, by the way. You can see it in the middle if you have a keen eye. Alphabet Man, as chat was calling him. Yeah, that one player, Lua or whatever, who was, I forget which team he plays for, but is it the Gurk squad? He just does all the lines. We call him Barcode Man.
What a banner for Infinity.
Yeah.
It's the shirtless dude.
The shirtless dude.
I don't think we're allowed to put this on Twitch, dude.
Oh, my God.
I think this breaks the terms of service now.
Uh-oh. You're right, actually. Can't do it.
That's not us.
So, but it keeps the supports locked down bottom. NJW doing pretty well against the puck. Angel is getting a lot of farm here in the off lane, but still MJW not going to be harassed out by a puck. So he can get some last hits. He can get a lot of experience. And overall, I think this is good news for Infinity, keeping these two really aggressive supports, great at roaming, great at setting up kills. And if they leave the lane, Anti-Mage simply can't farm. So this keeps them stuck down here. And I think UG suffers more from that than Infinity does, where you have this Dazzle Wisp, two supports that aren't really great at roaming. So they are sort of setting the tempo of this laning phase a bit with this aggro try. Right. And the farm, it's sort of a mutual loss here, both the Necro and the Anti-Mage. Farming less than ideal, still in the single digits, and Xander taking a lot of damage here. Are they going to have a first blood coming out?
Oh, wow.
Flies through, and Snog grabs it, draws the first blood on the Wisp.
That DD.
Nicely done. You can't even see it.
Do not. Yeah, exactly. You can't underestimate the DD Wisp, man.
It's like
that 48 base damage.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. So not bad to have the Wisp draw the first blood, honestly. Always good to have. It's weird how some teams love getting the first blood on supports.
I think it's better.
Some teams will, like, the argument is, well, your carry's going to get all the kills later on. He's going to get a lot of farm, so your supports need something early on. So it's great if they get that bonus gold. And others say, no, it's all about the carry. Like, the more the better. That's faster gold for your Midas. I guess it depends on which player you ask.
It depends on the support, too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you're a support that does, like, wonderfully without items at all. But this was Snob being able to get, like, these really fast boots. And you go pretty naked as a IO early because you try to, I mean, he just got a bottle.
Yeah.
So it's good. Like, you're really, really weak in the first 2 minutes of the game, but you have the bottle to stay alive if you have to, but there's no real innate regen, there's no stats. And now that he has boots, it's a lot better for him.
Yeah, now Dazzle, he's kind of relegated to the 5 here, just on a stick and a TP, but good he was able to at least afford a TP. Still hasn't put a point in Grave, went for that more aggressive poison touch. Yep. But we'll at least be able to TP in and save allies if things go horribly wrong. Mid lane has leveled out a little bit. Citadel now only 2 last hits behind that of the Dragon Knight. Looks like Infinity spent some time moving around collecting runes. But pretty even exchange there. And still the top's a very even exchange within 2 CS of each other. So it's just about this bottom tri-lane that's now kind of going the way of Infinity +4. Both position 1 still farming pretty evenly, but we've got a rotation here, Brian. Daiko on the Ogre. He'll head up top. And now Anti-Mage... Now that he's lost lane control, this will be a little bit more difficult for him.
Yeah, they're kind of just giving up on their Anti-Mage being able to get farm here in the early game. They send the Ogre top, and I don't know if this is a kill they can get on Tide.
It'll be tricky. Tide, not yet level 6, so this is a good time to go for it. Angel does have his Dream Coil, so maybe...
2 points in Ignite. Is he going to be able to get it off? No. He'll get into the woods, and the creep wave will go after Daiko. So this is a movement wasted for Union Gaming.
Well played by MJW. Just moves into the tree line, and maybe a window of opportunity there, but they don't want to dive it. And yeah, this is a long walk for the Ogre. He does have boots, but not very convenient for him. He'll hang around, and there's a big opportunity cost here. Necro is starting to pull ahead of Benjaz, and there's just nothing he can do. I mean, how can Anti-Mage farm against this tri-lane without his supports in lane with him? It's not his fault.
Anti-Mage is doing a little better than most cores would do in this situation, though. He's able to stay up in experience range, clear close to the tower, just because he knows he can blink away. There's no hard stuns on their tri-lane. So Anti-Mage, like, this is one of the better tri-lanes in terms of like the carry being able to stay by himself and get a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
But he's still got to be careful here.
See, Ogre rotated towards mid. This is just an Ogre without a home here. Daiko's done absolutely nothing over the past minute and a half. Thought about mid, but then backed up. Now MJW, he gets coiled, but now Tide has a Ravage. I don't think they'll be able to do this.
He's going to blow it right here.
And he's going to have to.
Oh, he needs to do it now before the Sunstrike hits. Oh, the relocate from Sna to keep him alive.
Oh, my God. The plays from this Wisp. That wasn't a relocate. It's just a TP. He's only level 4. He just TPs in, tethers him up. They turn it around. It's a 2-0. Sna. What a play from the Particle Wisp.
Yeah.
Wow, that was unexpected. I didn't see him TP, and I had the same thought. I was like, relocate. I was like, wait, he's level 6 already? How'd that happen? No, he's just smart. He's a good player.
Yeah. TPing in and tethering right to him.
Yeah, so now a decent lead for Infinity +4. About 1,500 gold, and will take an experience edge. The one problem is, since it wasn't a relocate, Wisp is now stuck up here. We'll have to buy another TP eventually. So that will give some space for Benjaz, but I think well worth it to get a double kill. Ooh, SN down bottom. Gets initiated on by Benjaz. There's no double heal. The silence on Dazzle. He can't get off the grave.
Oh,
but
no,
SN,
he's still alive.
He still lives. Xander, he dives the tower. He wants to finish it off. Skywrath, it'll prove a costly mistake as he gets finished off. Lust on the Dazzle. Brings him down, and SN, he still survives. That'll make it 4-0 as Infinity +4. Now galloping forward in the lead.
It was kind of a cheeky play to silence the Dazzle so he couldn't get the grave off, but it ended up not being enough damage with the last Arcane Bolt coming in. So one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situations. And Infinity looks to be in firm control of this game at this point.
Yep, it certainly does. Let's see how's Benjaz doing. His farm is just not where it needs to be. Only 26 last hits in 7.5 minutes. Certainly lackluster, and that's an understatement. Just on a ring of health, 4-man shield, and boots.
Tide almost has his blink as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're
2-0, leading the team in last hits.
I mean, this is going to be maybe a 15-minute Battle Fury if things turn around for him, if they knock down a tower, take some team fights. But yeah, Tide getting that blink, those kills up top just completely changed the state of this game. NJW will have like a 10-minute blink, if not sooner. And that's some serious tempos that can be controlled off that. Even DK, he's level 8, and he's been quiet. We haven't seen him leave his lane yet. There's going to be maybe between the 10-15 minute mark, Infinity +4 can really hit their stride and start knocking down these towers and limiting space that Anti-Mage has to farm.
Denied.
Citadel, he's still farming up in mid. I'm curious what build he'll go for. Probably the Hand of Midas Necro. That's still the pretty standard build we see on the Exhort Invokers these days. Sometimes you'll see a Force Staff come out if it's a particularly rough game, but I think he can get away with just going Midas first here. He does have 1,500 gold, so pulling up towards something. And Ogre, he'll buy a smoke, so Daiko ready to move around the map, set up some ganks wherever possible. Benjaz getting dove on a little bit here. Dazzle maxing out the Shadow Wave. Just went for that value point and Poison Touch for a little bit of extra damage and trying to max out that heal for the big nukes. Get him down in range for those sights. Wisp is actually hanging out in the top lane here. Guess they realized at this point, with the Ogre moving around, they don't really need Sna down bottom.
Yeah, they realized that Union Gaming was taking note of how fast Tide was farming,
attack.
and that they wanted to maybe kind of shut him down before he got his blink, and they realized that dedicating the Whisk up there to make sure he got his blink would be the good move.
Yep.
And he's got it.
Yeah, it's a 9-minute blink, so even faster than what we were talking about for the Tide.
And he's level 8.
Great stuff there.
The big issue for them, though, is just they need to get this Necro level 6. It's kind of late, 9 minutes in. His XPM has not been very good this game, considering
That's
the
the
aggressive
problem
tri-lane.
with the tri-lane Necro. You have that delayed sight.
But he hasn't died. His farm is okay, not great. It's actually kind of on par with the anti-mage.
Old Tide, he's going to get silenced up. Still gets the Ravage off. Wisp is here with a tether. Does not have a relocate. Had to use it to get in here.
Oh, and they
And
split the Sunstrike damage.
Is that good or bad? They're
That's
both
perfect,
low.
actually.
Yeah, it actually works out really well. Arcane Bolt comes in. They can't find the kill. So Ravage is used, but a Dream Coil also comes out. Skywrath is only level 4.
Yeah, I think that's best for Infinity. Like, Union committed 3 to that. Committed 3 in an ult, and Infinity was 2 in an ult, so I think it's much better off for them.
Yeah, but meanwhile in the bottom lane, without the supports down there,
Radiant
Benjaz about to lose his
structures
tier
are
1 tower.
fortified.
Glyph comes out, but they nuke down the creep wave. So much sustainability, even with the Basilius. Anti-Mage goes
Oh, he
into the
does
last
get
hit.
denied.
He finds it nicely done by
Bottom tower has
Benjaz
been
there. A
denied.
little pick-me-up. But still, not really doing much in the way of getting him some last hits and getting him closer to
They're
this
pinging out
battlefield.
they're pinging out the Necro. They want to take him down. Invoker's rotating in. Dazzle will scout him out.
Yeah, but all he has is a Midas right now. I mean, Invoker is not
Radiant's
really in
middle
great
tower
ganking
is under
shape.
attack.
Be careful with his courier. He kind of
Radiant
took a...
structures
And now
are
him leaving the mid
fortified.
lane, Dragon Knight, he's used his ultimate. He's done a lot of damage to this tower. Infinity's been all over the rune control. He's got a haste rune bottled up, so Sidorol, he'll be forced back right
He
away.
has to TP back to the tower to keep
Oh,
it from falling.
God. It feels like all of these rotations from UG are just wasted time, and now Anti-Mage getting a little aggressive down bottom. Necro is level 6, does have a scythe. They just have to get him a little bit low, and maybe
Dire's
they can
top
execute him.
tower is under attack.
Psycho even gets revealed there.
Yeah, there are some supports nearby on both sides. Dazzle hiding in the trees. So is the Skywrath.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But mid tier 1 goes down. Dragon Knight gets the
middle
last
tower
hit on that
has
one. Just
fallen.
pressing forward onto Sidorol. Has a haste rune. Now the rotation from the supports come in. Silence. Daiko with the stun, but he's only 4. No multicasts in Infinity. He'll just walk away. He's not even that much worse for wear. He's feeling
That
pretty
haste
good.
rune.
This is very quickly getting out of control for UG here, Brian. 4,000 gold, 2,000 experience. It's not even that the graphs are that scary yet. It's just, what do they have going for them? At this point, they've kind of lost all their lanes. They've lost 2 towers. Anti-Mage isn't farming, and
He had to go for his treads. Like, he couldn't even rush
Yeah.
the Battle Fury. It's 11 minutes in, and all he has in it
and
is
it
the
looks
Ring
like
of Health.
Necro could end up going Ato's first item. He has
Yeah,
a
that
vitality
Envy build.
booster.
I think it's a good build. It really helps
I
you
like
being
it.
able to get those. You need the tankiness. The flat int is really good because of just how much Reaper Scythe costs at higher levels. It jumps up to 340 at level 2.
It gives Necro all the stats he needs. It's a
Right.
great value item on that front, and it's still like I feel like
great.
it's one of those items. Oh, missed a kill up top. Puck, he gets isolated on as we're talking about Atos here. Oh, and in the jungle, Lust really gets scouted out. He'll reveal himself, throws out the weave, only connects on a couple, including himself. SN now silent. Sunstrike comes in. There's your
Oh, great
relocate with the
Ravage.
Ravage. Connects on 4. They find the kill on Skywrath. Ogre goes down shortly after a beautiful grave. Buys him a little bit of time. Anti-Mage gets locked down. It'll be a 1-for-5 exchange from across the map. Oh my gosh.
What a great relocate for the Tide. Right into the fight.
That was just perfect. Perfect timing there. And Infinity +4 just gets so much out of that. They do lose their Necro, which is a little unfortunate. But
This is like such a good strategic game from Infinity. Like, all of their movements, the way they did their lanes was kind of perfect. They're kind of playing everything just right.
Radiant's
Like,
bottom tower
I'm actually
is under
really
attack.
impressed with their play this game.
Radiant structures are
yeah, they've been
fortified.
good. The movements from the Wisp have been solid. MJW's had a great game on this Tide, 4-0-2. All their gank
Angel,
attempts
he's-
on him have been so unsuccessful. And Angel just poking him. He's tickling him, but can't break through that callous exterior. The Kraken shell, dude.
Radiant's
Look
bottom
at this
tower
Tide.
is
He's
under
not even
attack.
scared. He's just moving into neutrals. There you go. Blinks back to safety mid lane. Uh-oh, I said he's in some trouble. Invoker will hit him with a Sunstrike. That's enough to secure the kill on the Necrofoe. So, yeah, Necro's doing pretty well, but he's still kind of squishy. Needs
Only
to be a
two,
little careful.
only 2 deaths for the team now.
Radiant's
But
bottom
Infinity,
tower
he will
has
get the tier
fallen.
2 tower down bottom. So again, UG, they're getting minor pick-me-ups here and there, but in
Dire's
general,
top
they're just
tower
getting picked
is under
apart. Their
attack.
rotations are being quelled. Their kills generally not so successful. And
Infinity's this creep camp away from a Shadow Blade.
Are they actually going Shadow Blade on the DK? Here they are. I love it. So it just fits into the tempo of this game so perfectly. Now Angel up top gets Gush. Will get the tower kill, but it'll cost him his life. Oh, God. They turned that Fairy Dragon into a jar of jelly. You know, for some reason when I see the Fairy Dragon, I just picture the little jellyfish in SpongeBob.
Middle tower is under attack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I guess it must be the color scheme, but I always think of, oh, jellyfish. I always want to make SpongeBob references, but I don't think anybody would get it. There's your Shadow Blade, though. DK, he's hungry.
He's going to look to use it right away. Will he go up the hill? Yeah.
And he finds him, scared of a Sentry Room. Oh my, or Sentry Ward, but look at it, he just cuts down the Skywrath. SN gets initiated on, takes a lot of damage, almost lives, but not quite. Invoker has an auto attack to bring him down, but now Citadel will be punished for his greed. And around the map, the 1-for-3 trade if you want to count the Ogre.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, Necro's having a pretty awful game, and honest, like, he didn't farm that well in lane. For all the pressure they put on Benjaz, they were kind of, like, on par in terms of farm, but, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everything else for Infinity has worked so well that they've kind of been able to rise above it.
They're happy to trade some of the Necro's farm to keep down the anti-mage, and they did it so well.
The 3 deaths on the Necro was a 3-for-1 trade, a 5-for-1 trade, and then a pick-off that they didn't get a trade for. But
yeah.
they've all been pretty good
Just
events.
look at the Benjaz farm, though. We talked about 15 minutes for having a Battle Fury. He has a Perseverance and 900 gold. He's still a full, like, 1,500 away. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Infinity +4 get another tower. Now your level 1 Necronomicon comes out for the Invoker. They're starting to get some of these core items, but you compare the Radiant inventories to the Dire. You've got a Shadow Blade, a Blink Dagger, Necro working on probably
Shadow Blade gank. Infinity's going to go on Citadel, I think.
And Atos. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Can he actually do it? There you go. Now the tether in from the Wisp. He will get cold snapped, but God, Infinity just bringing him down this DK with so much momentum all of a sudden. He's #1 on net worth, Brian. This is really getting scary for Union.
This is 15. The extra damage from the Shadow Blade hit is so much at level 15 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
just don't think about it.
That's a good point. Yeah, DK coming. Look at it. Hits for 200. Even the pudgy Ogre, man, he just gets chunked down. It'll be 15-3, 16 minutes in, and now about 10,000 gold and experience going the way of the Dire. Tide did go for a Force Staff after his blink.
It's smart, I think.
Yeah, get mobility tool.
Like the extra, like rushing something like a refresher this early is just not necessary.
Yeah. Still good though.
It's still good. It's just like you don't really. It's so much of a build-up. Getting something that's going to be immediately effective, like a Force Staff, is I think the best decision.
He could have gone for a mech here, though. That would be my only complaint. Is mech is just so good with Wisp.
I think this team doesn't think they need a mech with the Dazzle and the IL. Like I think
I would say they don't need it, but I think it would still be a nice addition. Put it that way. It's not a necessity, but it wouldn't be a bad item choice. I still want to see what Necro's going for. 1,700 gold. I still think it's an Atos, but
I mean, a casual Vit booster isn't the worst thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's going for the mech. Mech on Necro is pretty solid.
It's interesting that he went Vit Booster and Cloak, so he wanted to just absolutely tank up as much as possible.
I mean,
He's got armor, raw health, and magic resist.
Maybe it's a just straight casual Vit Booster into a pipe. I mean, this is a really good pipe game. Look at all this magic damage. I mean, sure, there's an anti-mage, but still, pipe would go a long way, especially if they're looking to end this game in the next 5-10 minutes, look to break high ground. Pipe is the perfect item for that. I'm also a pipe fanboy. I'm on that pipe bandwagon. It's like the hipster thing right now. Nobody's buying pipe. We should do a stat segment on the lack of pipe pickups. Because it's a thing. Oh, relocate bottom. They find Benjaz. The stun before he can blink. The breathe fire. The gush. They burst down. The anti-mage. How do you say is the mangina?
Magina. There's no man.
There's no man.
That would be even worse.
Magina. Is
Magina's
that really
bad enough.
Magina? I don't know. With the
yeah, it's like the dude whose last name is Wiener, but he insists on it being pronounced Weiner. Like you just got to go with it. It's like
just got to own it.
You just got to own it. It's Magina.
All right.
It's like, dude, we know your last name's Wiener. It's fine.
Well, Magina gets taken down. He's gets rough and tumbly, and it doesn't go well for him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Infinity +4 looking good. Puck comes in. A coil on 2, and there's 4 heroes nearby. Not quite what Angel was hoping for, but now the follow-up. Tornado into the Deafening Blast Meatball. Lust almost goes down, gets off the grave. Now the Ravage comes out, finds the kill on Ogre. Puck goes down shortly after. And the rest of UG on the back foot. Citadel, he's on the run, baby. He'll live, but won't be able to do too much. Anti-Mage. Still no Battle Fury, 18 minutes in, waiting for that second sword. Tide blinks forward, Gush onto Citadel. Wisp balls coming in, they might be the damage that they need.
He can just Force Staff. No, Force Staff and Anchor Smash! Oh. He could have got the kill. I guess he didn't want to be greedy. I guess he didn't want to be greedy.
All right, MJW playing it safe.
Top tower
They're pretty far ahead. I think they could have settled for a little bit of greed right there, but Ogre, so low level. He's only level 4.
He took like a half a second of that Mystic Flare.
He respawned already, though. I can't believe it. It's like, did that Ogre buy back? Nope. He's just severely under level.
He's just level 4.
He's literally level 4.
Radiant's
That is
top
just,
tower
I didn't
is
even
under
notice
attack.
it. That's terrible.
Radiant's top tower
I feel
has
bad for
fallen.
the guy. That's a...
Well,
That's
he was
an
the
Ogre
person that
without a
rotated
home.
out of the tri-lane, and he just didn't get anything done.
Yep. Oh, Radiant Courier. It's going to get
Radiant's
picked
Courier.
off.
Oh,
Anti-mage.
man.
He will live, and that's... I was thinking, oh, is that his
That's-
Battle Fury? Nope, that's just his Claymore, so... Adding insult to injury here. Dude, at this point, I think the Ogre should just head into the jungle, find a nice pack of Ice Ogres and Bruisers, and hang out and just set up camp.
Set up a new family.
Just make some new
Start a
friends.
family.
Start over. Do it
And
with his
it's not the
protection style.
Atos. He's going to get the Bloodstone. He gets the Soul Boost.
Okay.
I don't like. I
Interesting
do not
choice.
like Bloodstone on Necro. I don't like Bloodstone on the majority of heroes. Well, you just don't need the mana regen. Like
Yeah.
like Atos will make you just as tanky. Like that
Yeah.
much. It's just it's too much mana regen.
I feel like Atos is one of
not
those
spamming
items
it.
that it's very easy to be like, Atos, why is everybody getting it? And then just get it in one game, in a pub game, and you realize it has a 10-second cooldown, 4-second uptime, 40% uptime on that item with 50 mana cost. It's really annoying. And in some games, it's just crippling. If you don't have somebody with like a blink or no cleanse or anything,
Dire's middle
you
tower
can almost
is under
win a
attack.
lane just with an Atos.
The only heroes that I actually like Bloodstone on are Timbersaw. I'll do your standard ones: Timbersaw, Storm Spirit in certain games, and like Corla Shrek. That's about, and you don't really see Corla Shrek anymore, unfortunately.
Hey, we saw it in SCA like
Dude, it's
3
good.
weeks ago, dude.
It's good. I wish people would do it.
Musica just wrecked people with it.
good.
He was just like dropping magic from the heavens. It's better than people give it credit for.
The issue is just Necro is just not spammy enough. Sure, he's spamming out death pulses every 5 seconds, but it's not the same as Timbersaw or.
And he also
Storm
has
Spirit
the
Elvis.
sadist
Dire's
mechanic,
top
so
tower
like mana
is under
regen is
attack.
only so powerful.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's relatively tanky, and they're 5-manning at this point. So if he dies, the heal is pretty beneficial. So it's not the worst
Yeah.
pickup. It's just I think there are other items that do it better, but I don't think
Radiant's
it's
bottom tower is
bad
under
per se.
attack.
It's not like he's picking up a Sanjinyasha or anything.
Well, tier 3 taking some heavy damage here. 30 seconds on the
Radiant's
cliff, and they'll say, hey, if you don't want to
bottom
defend,
tower
we'll be
has
happy to pound on your barracks. Anti-Mage is farming in the mid. Skyrath is up top, just playing with his toy cars. I don't know what the hell this guy's doing, but now he's like, hey, all right, I'm ready to fight, guys.
You know he can't really contribute.
Doesn't really have too many items. Ogre, he's almost level 6. He's almost there. He's got an urn, but no charges because they can't kill
Radiant's
anybody.
bottom
And they're going to take
has
down a
fallen.
pair of racks before Ogre can even multicast anything.
Yeah, that's a sad statistic. And I mean, there's just that was
Radiant's
not that was a
bottom
free lane of
barracks
barracks.
has
They didn't put
fallen.
up any kind of a fight. But Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury. 21 minutes in. This is far from an ideal
Oh,
time.
is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? I think
McGee,
this is level 6.
congraties, multicast. Let's see if we can get some big fire blast. They're
Alright,
still
he's
only
gonna
level
need it.
3 though, so does limit their potency a bit, I suppose. BKB up on the DK now. Other big items, Lust. He went for a medallion, fun item on the Dazzle. Blink on Wisp, and MJW. He's looking for a refresher here, and less than a recipe away. Jay Vince in chat says, I'm going to eat some shit if UG wins this. I would be careful making bets like that, sir. Did you see that that puppy tweet the other day?
Yeah.
I liked that.
No one ever actually eats the
No one will
shoe.
ever actually eat whatever they say they will, but the puppy one was funny.
It's just funny, just because the straight up call out.
You know, I was giving Merlini a hard time yesterday about how many tweets he has relative to how many followers. Puppy has over 90K followers
Yeah.
and only 200 tweets.
We talked to Ice Frog about that.
What the hell? Oh, well, Ice Frog's the most extreme example. That's like, what does he have, like
Dire's
0
middle
tweets and a
tower.
million
21,000 followers, no tweets.
No,
Dire's
that's pretty good.
structures
That's
are
an
fortified.
infinite.
And he joined in 2008. It wasn't like a recent, like someone just like took advantage of it. Like,
That's the Ice Frog. All right, here we go. Team fight breaks out. Ogre gets his first multicast of the game. All right, it tickles the Drag Knight. And the Dragon just keeps going into the tower. Level 3 Necronomicon units. They're just going to take one down. The Warrior.
Dire's
he goes.
middle tower
Easy
is
peasy.
under attack.
I mean, so he's got his
Radiant
multicast now, but the
structures
Necro
are
has a cloak,
fortified.
and Dragon Knight already has his
Dire's
BKB.
middle tower
Yeah.
has
Like-
fallen.
They're feeling pretty
Radiant's
strong.
top tower
Anti-Mage,
is
he
under
says, fuck
attack.
it, guys. I'm just split pushing. Ben Jazz, do her to her, buddy. But, whoa, Coil on 3. Is that a Ravage that I missed looking at the Anti-Mage? No, MJW blinking forward, thinking about the Ravage now. Gets stunned,
Radiant's
can't
top
find
tower
anyone.
has fallen.
And it's okay. They just get a kill on Skyrath, and that'll be kind of the end of the defense. Blitz's
Radiant's
been
top
used, Puck coming
barracks
back in.
are
They
under
say
attack.
GG.
And not a moment.
Yes. UG just... It seemed like they
Radiant's
weren't
top
quite ready
barracks
for that
has
aggro
fallen.
tri-lane with the 3 healers.
Dire's
And
middle-
that's what's good about it. In a
Dire
best of 1,
victory.
it can really catch you off guard. It is definitely a strategy that works well on that front, and it is just good against the anti-mage. As we talked about, it forced the supports to stay in lane, and when you pick an Ogre Skywrath, you know that they want to roam around.
That's the weird thing, is they kind of kept the supports in lane, but then at about the 4 or 5 minute mark, they decided, well, we can't do it. And so they sent the Ogre top, but that was even worse for them. Because not at that point, they forced the supports to move, but they made them move in really obvious ways that meant that they had no experience going the way of the Ogre. He wasn't able to kill the Titan on top when he was there. Skywrath, same way. He didn't want to stay in, like, you couldn't really stay in lane against the aggressive tri-lane, so he was getting no experience either. It actually took him forever to get his level 6 as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they pinned the supports, and then they tried to, like, force their way out of the pin, and just, it didn't really work. They ended up getting no experience.
Yeah. It all just fell apart.
Having your supports at level 7 and level 6 at the end of the game just kind of
their tri-lane got rocked.
Tells the story.
They couldn't gank anywhere else. All of their lanes kind of, like, the puck broke even with the Tide. The difference is the Tide was able to do so much more.
Right.
I would put Sna as probably close to my MVP that game, just from that one TP up top to turn it around on the Tide. That was the play that really was like, oh, God, it's getting bad for Union quick here, folks. And that gave Tide like his 9-minute blink or something.
Yeah. MJW really dominated the puck in lane too, which is not the easiest thing to do. So I'll give him props for that. He got the insanely fast blink dagger. He had really good instincts when the Ogre came up to try to gank on him, and he was able to turn that around. So.
Trust your instincts. Wise. Good advice from a very wise rabbit. Happy.
Indeed.
All right, we've got a break, Brian. We've got a time slot worth of downtime here. It's about 90 minutes until our final match, Union versus the Gurg squad. So Union, they're still trying, man. Maybe they can get their first official win. Bring the pain train out onto Gurg. But long break. It was a short game too. So hopefully y'all will peace out and come on back. It's unrealistic to expect they'll stick around. I'm Zyori. That's K-Pop Tosis. Thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll be back after this extended break. Oops.